Alright, looks like we are live. Gonna put out the appropriate messages real quick. So give me a moment to do that. Gotta open Discord again. I literally just woke up and crawled out of bed. I spent the weekend off of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it was a thing. So I might not be on much this month. Uh, what is what am I doing? Right. Let's see, kick.com slash like district. Right. Okay. Are we streaming? What's going on? Something went wrong. What went wrong? What went wrong? Refresh page. Ugh. Is it this? Hang on. I forgot what the kick channel is, because I use a couple of different addresses here. Sorry, this is taking up so much time. Excuse me for the throat clearing there. Let's see. All right. Creator dashboard. All right. So now I have chat. I need to. Oh, come on, turn on. Thank you. I need to plug in my second display here. Give me a second. Sorry, folks. I know. I should have done this earlier instead of sleeping as much as I did. God, I feel like garbage right now. That's alright though. I'll feel better as the day goes on. And maybe the raspiness in my voice will disappear. Misconfigured. Alright, hang on. How... I don't know why it says misconfigured. There's something going on. If you can hear me in chat, let me know. OBS is saying that I have audio going out. Come on, second monitor. You're plugged in. You're connected to the computer. What more do you want from me? What more do you want from me? Ugh. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, that came out of nowhere. Alright. And now... Oops. I can put the chat up here. Sweet. Okay. Alright, now I can see chat. We're golden. We are golden. So we're gonna get back to sketching out the concept for our little blobby dude here. I'm gonna get rid of a couple of these layers. We'll start there, and then I'm just gonna go down the list and see which layers I can get rid of. Okay. Alright, we're golden. We got it. Let's commence the drawing. I want to finish this concept image today, and I want to move on to at least starting the model today. I know that's not set in stone, but we'll get there, I think. Let's see. Let's do a new layer. Control Shift N, right? Yep. Not color balance. New layer. Oh, did I do? There we go. I forgot to hit Shift. Alright, so I know I settled on having these additional arm deals, a little bit of and I'm just making this little V here to like give me a little something extra to work with later, because I don't know if this is going to be, I don't know if this area is going to be flesh or not. I do know that I want some in the final product, but I don't know exactly how much. So maybe I'll do a little of that. I don't know. I do not know. And then we'll just work on these fistal thingy mabobbers. I know that we need like a little T shape there, and then this has got to come out, so I'll just make a little squiggle there to, like, as an indicator that I gotta come back later and erase some of that. Drawing fists is comparatively easier than drawing hands, and that's just because you only really need a couple of primitives, a couple of simple shapes, a trapezoid, and then basically a triangle, and then for shoulders and elbows and stuff, you only really need a circle to give you like the base of where your joints will be, because you can just take a circle, draw a line through it, and then come out a little ways, and that gives you like an elbow or a knee connection. like I did here, as an illustration. But yeah, you know, I'm not digging the I wanted fist legs, and this is just not working out. So I'm gonna change course here. I might keep that layer for now, but I'm gonna try something different here. So I'm gonna do like a side view here of what the intended shape could be. So we'll have a platform. And then what do we do with the platform? Let's see, let's add, no, that makes it look like it's going up. We want to make it look like it's going this way. And then, oh, no, stop. What are you doing, pen? One of the things I dislike about this little setup is that the pen has these two buttons that are very conveniently located, but I keep hitting them all the time. And I know that's something I'm going to learn to not do as I use the tool and get more comfortable with it. It's just something that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm just putting in a little bit of suggestion that this is a curved surface here. And then, oh, nope, that needs to be way steeper. So that's going to come to here, and then that is going to come down to here, and then we can just erase all that later. Let's see. Front leg looks something like this. Alright, and then the rear leg comes up, comes down. Hang on, no, that doesn't look right. Comes out, comes down, comes back, comes down. So this is a little too long. That's fine. That's what the eraser is for. We're just going to erase a good chunk of this. And then while we're here, we'll just, erase this. That is looking kind of off. So let's see, let's do this line here. You know what? It's fine. I'm way too tired to be fighting with the thing today. As you can tell, my weekend was kind of very busy. I was running around all over creation on the weekend. Come on. right. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I'll leave it as is. It's fine. I'll just use that as connective tissue, I guess. So I know from the top, I want this back leg to look like this, maybe. And then this, we can just go like this, maybe, perhaps. And then you. And then you. Well, it's not perfect, but we don't need it to be perfect. We don't need perfection. Never let good be the enemy of perfection. I'm already getting like a hoof kind of what is it like like a draw to the hoof. The hoof shape. So let's clean that up a bit. And again, this is really more about exploring shapes, figuring out what might look good on this particular beast. I think that looks sufficiently mechanical. And then I'll just carry over the same aesthetic choices in the model. I think that's all I'm gonna draw for this for now. Because I really, my goodness, I really want to get into modeling. I haven't modeled anything in a good few weeks, so we're gonna switch over to Blender. Just give me 1 second here. Oh, did I? Oh, okay, okay. I actually did start modeling it, it looks like. Give me a second here. And, yep, there is the start of our model. I forgot I started this last weekend. I was just so busy. So we've got the torso. So the biggest thing is going to be, excuse me. I've got the torso. I've got the 5mm by 5mm pegs. I think they're 5mm. Yeah, they're 5mm. Hang on. Separate. Okay, so these are 5mm by 10mm pegs. And these are gonna just cut the. These are just there to cut into surfaces when I get down to it. Got the hand. The hand looks okay. It's not the greatest, but it's gonna be like. Hang on, where are we? I'm looking for my caliper. Give me a second here. I know it's over here, but I don't have any lights on right now because I literally just woke up and sat at the computer. I know it's up here. Is that it? That's it. Okay. So, we're going to... right there. Oh, wow. Surprisingly close. So, if I use the viewport, this is just shy. The distance here is about what you would see real in real space. So that's 50 millimeter wide base, just under 2 inches. So yeah, I think the handle be legible. It won't be very big. It won't be very detailed, but I think it'll be legible. I think you'll be able to make out that it's a hand. Let's go ahead and, I don't know, open another instance of Blender because I need my, open, where's my repository file? Oh my goodness. Fine. We'll do this the hard way. Open parts repo. You're not going to see it because it's not... I mean, I guess I could. There's nothing stopping me from bringing the file up. Here. Let me do this. Let's do another window capture. And then we'll do this. Okay. And shrink it down there. And that way you guys can see when it finally loads. But I'm going to continue modeling this. I think I've got a good enough idea of where I'm going to start here. I'm going to start... Excuse me. I'm going to start working on the... the platform the torso is going to connect to. I think we'll start with cube. We start with cube. That'll come up to about there. All right. Shade. Oh no, not shade. We wanna. Okay. Tab. Into edit mode, and then we'll extrude this forward. Extrude that. I don't know, about there. And then let's do something horse-like. All right. Come on. Excuse me. We're gonna do... Yeah, we're gonna do something horse-like here. We're gonna bevel that to about there. And then what I'm gonna do... 3. Delete face. merge at last, and at last. Okay. Yeah, that looks like a shape. And then, I don't know, we'll grab that, move it backwards. Or, I'll come back to it. Right now, I'm doing what's called a blockout. It's just a way of putting shapes up to figure out how you want everything to sit, how you want everything to land. That'll go there. And then these shapes can eventually either be refined or replaced with other shapes later. The huge thing that I'm learning working in Blender and then designing for FDM print minis, because I've started leaning toward designing specifically to print FDM minis. And that is really more so just because I kind of hate resin. It's not to say that resin doesn't have its use cases. But if I make the best mini I possibly can and it prints well in FDM, it'll print that much better in resin. So if I aim low, that's not the right phrasing. What is the word what is the phrasing I'm looking for? A rising tide raises all ships. That's the phrasing I'm looking for. So let's go ahead and rotate that out and back a bit. And then bring that to about there, I guess. And then bring that in. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I do, however, want to line up these corners. And then we'll bring that in just like that. I don't need it to be perfect. Never let perfect be the enemy of good, they say. And I will repeat that. I will make it my mantra. I'm just looking for, because these shapes look fine to me. They look good to me. I just want to situate them so that they have a better flow for like whatever part I decide to put in between them later. So like right here, I'm going to put a bevel on it in the back. And I'll do the same for this side, I guess. And now that bevel can serve as kind of a nest, if you will, for a mechanical joint of some kind, or a joint of some kind, rather. And really, I just want to kind of line it up. You're not going to see, it's going to be like this after it's printed. It's going to be about this size after it's printed, so I'm not too worried about getting it flawless or anything. I just want the shapes to line up and make sense is all. So here, let's do a cylinder. Apologies. I think I caught a bug or something somewhere this weekend. I don't know. Could explain why, like, I'm achy. Alright, let's look at the back. And we'll rotate. Let's scale first. And then rotate Y. And then left. Grab Y. Let's go ahead and scale that up a little bit more. And again, this is just more discovery, seeing how all these parts harmonize or whatever. I don't know, I'm trying to avoid sounding like I have my head up my butt. And that, or that I'm sniffing my own farts. That's really not what I want to portray myself as. I just want to have some fun, have a good time, be nice and chill. You know, the exact opposite of the artistry type. Crikey, I messed up. That, yeah, there, that looks good. Alright. Right, yeah, I need to apply rotation and scale. Otherwise, it's not going to look right. Alright. Yeah. There we go. Oops. Oh, excuse me. E-scale. Alright. I believe I can come back to this part now. Oh, right, I think it's double G. And then scale. Okay. And then this guy. And then yoink. Alright, let's go ahead and put in our first bit of ground connection here. Cube. Oops. Might have messed this up a little bit. That's okay. Okay. Something looks off to me, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I'm just going to keep blocking out until I have something I like. Something that looks good. Or at least I think looks good. And then that sits there. And then... Oh, right. Yeah. All these guys gotta get moved up a tad bit. Just a bit. Let's see. Scale. And then scale Y. Scale X. Just to give it more of a cloven hoof shape. To be honest, I have never modeled a hoof before. I know what the underside structure should look like. Fun fact, I worked on a farm a couple summers in a row when I was in my late teens. And it was a dairy farm, by the way. That was a wild experience, let me tell you. I had to deliver a calf with no experience. And that was the strangest thing I'd ever have to do. Basically, when you deliver a calf, you have to shove your arm into the cow, into the birth canal, and you have to like pull the calf out. And not gonna lie, it kind of sucked. It was like 120, 110, 120, somewhere around there. It was a hot day, and the stable was not like stables aren't like air conditioned. So I had to do this in 100 and something degree weather, and it stunk. I would not have traded the experience for the world. It was honestly so freaking cool, but at the same time, like, I don't ever want to do it again. I could never, like, be a farmer. I couldn't do it. And just not me. I want to deselect that face there, these two faces here, bring that down. All of these faces in here, I have to, yeah, let's scale them inward a little bit more. We'll take these two guys and bring them out a little bit more than that. But yeah, I could never do the farming life. Um, it's not for me. I do have a whole new appreciation for the people who do it. Um, oops. Well, I wouldn't say new because I've been living with this appreciation uh, for the work that gets done on a farm for quite a while. But but yeah, it takes a special kind of person having to like. The problem is farm work. All right, here's the problem with farm work: is the animals get out. Um, they get out and they get in places you never thought they would get to. Um, I once had to pull a I don't know if you call them bulls when they're young, but I had to pull a young bull out of a ditch once. And the only way to do that, because these guys are heavy, and the only way to do that at the time, at least, I don't know if this is still done, but I had to literally yank the poor guy out of the ditch with a what is it? Not an ATV. Something like an ATV. I forget what it's called. It just it just stunk. It was a bad time. Um, I didn't like it. Our bovine friend didn't like it. It was just not fun. Oh man, memories. Um, I always had to get a goat off of the top of a barn once. You're like, here's the ladder. I'm like, how do I get it down? Well, that's what the rope is for, dummy. Um, and it's funny because the farmer called me a dummy. Um, like he literally called me dummy. And you know what? That was a fair criticism on his part. Cause I'm a dummy. uh, I wonder if I'm spending too much time on this hoof. Um, let's go edge crease. We'll do 0.5. And then let's do this and this. All right. I think that looks about right. I'm gonna make it a little bigger. Make it a little bigger so that it actually withstands being printed. And that's another thing you have to consider when you're modeling is what medium are you modeling for? Um, I know I'm modeling for miniatures. I could easily excuse me. I can easily switch gears and model toward um model toward video games or model toward like just sculpting for the sake of like a digital art piece. But at the end of the day, when you consider the medium that you are modeling in and the medium you are modeling for, you you start to make decisions based on that. Like, if I were modeling for animation, I'd want to make sure that that my topology, that's the way individual. See, this is not panning out right at all. But it's fine because I'll get there in the end. But topology is the way that each part of a model comes together, and when you would model for something like animation, you'd want to make sure your topology doesn't cause conflicts with other parts of the topology. So like as an example here, if I make a cylinder, right? And let's just make it this long. Now, if I want this cylinder to bend without looking wrong, I'm going to have to put in a one loop cut minimum. And that loop cut is just where the material moves, right? So here I've just moved the material backwards a little bit. But reality is you probably want more than one loop cut. You probably want something closer to like 5. And this gives the model a lot more room, and I'll show you here what I mean. Give me a second here. Let me grab X. I know, this is a fun little side quest. But I'll show you what I mean here. The 5 is probably the point of diminishing returns. But I'll show you what I mean here. So I've got 5 loop cuts here. They're all stacked together really nice and close. You have one loop cut here. You have no loop cuts here. If I set my cursor to selected here and then do, let's see, we'll do armature. And then just so that I can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to make it in front. In front just tells the software to put the model, or to not it tells the program, thank you, that the skeleton that you're working on is allowed to, what's the word I'm looking for? It's allowed to be viewed through the faces of the model. And that's really good for when you want to double check where your topology is and everything. There's that word again. But here's what I mean. So I'm gonna click and then parent. We'll do automatic weights, I guess, and then because this is just a quick little demo. And then, so we have these 3 that are all parented now with automatic weights. So if I go into pose mode here and I RX, as you can see, I've just made a 45-degree angle. Well, not 45. I made a 90-degree angle, which ends up with two 45-degree angled faces on this cylinder, right? So we go here to pose mode. You can see that. Now, this one here, this one you can see there's that one loop cut there. And so if I go into pose mode on this one, and I do the same, RX90, you can see the top looks fine, but the bottom's all like pinched. So when you add loop cuts to your model, right, this is the difference between modeling for print and modeling for animation. This is the one with the 5 loop cuts. So we do X90, and you see there's this nice little gradual bend. Yeah, it's pinching a little bit in the middle here, but it's not pinching so bad where everything is just like foobar. And then I'll just go into object mode and make these all invisible to the front. They won't show over the faces, but there you have it. That's the difference between modeling for different things. And since I'm modeling for 3D print, I can be I can get a lot more creative with the with placement and posing and stuff like that. Cursor to world origin. Oh, no, that's not right. Cursor to world origin. Thank you. Excuse me. So yeah, there's your quick little Blender tutorial for the day. It's the laziest of Blender tutorials. We're going to go ahead and bring that back a little bit. Let's do RZ180, RY. And then I guess we'll turn that way a little bit. We'll do that, scale that down a little bit. Oh. Not a lot, because we still need some we still need some thickness for the model itself, for when it's printed. Mirror X, grab X, and then grab Y. Okay. Still need to there and there. And then I don't know, does that look alright? Looks alright enough, I guess. But let's make it look better. I don't want a half. halfway do this. Yeah, let's see. Bring that out a bit, bring this out a bit. Alrighty. Nice, nice, nice. Let's it's almost looking good. Shift D, grab Y, R, X, and then do that, and that, and that, I think. And then bring that out a little bit more. Oh. Going the wrong way there, sir. Having trouble with the radar, sir. I lost the beeps. I lost the squeaks. And I lost the bleeps. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've got to figure out what I'm doing here. I think we've got a good block out here. These hooves are the final shape. Like, these hooves aren't getting changed. I think I'm going to change the legs out. I'm not entirely sure, though. But I'm going to sit with the shape as it is, and then I'm going to move on to a different area of the model now. Scale that outward. And then let's work on the back here. I want some detail on this back here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do cube. Excuse me. Ugh. Grab Z. We'll start here because I'm going to be putting kind of a collar or a base of some sort on the bottom of the torso here. I guess we'll raise it up about that high. And so I want some sort of like transition a transition piece of some sort here in the middle. And then what I'll do is do that. I'll do that. And then I guess that'll work. We'll do an array because I really don't feel like modeling every single one. So we're gonna go Z. We'll put a little bit of rotation on it on the X. There we go. And then we'll just raise this up a little bit more. Oh. I believe 12 is a little much. And then Y. 6? I think 6 looks fine. Unless we do that. I think we'll do that. I think that looks good. Meet in the middle. And then Ravage, are you comfy over there, fuzzy baby? Yeah, you are. Yeah, I don't have any complaints on that. I think that looks decent. It's a nice simple shape. It doesn't need to be much more than that. Let's see, curve, path. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into here and we're going to set that to be a tube. Resolution is 6, I guess. We're going to fill the caps. And then left. Grab Y. Grab Z. Grab Y. Grab Y. Grab Z. And then grab X. And then X again. And then one more time for good measure. Okay. There we go. Now we got a tube sticking out of the back of the hand. Let's go ahead and convert that to a mesh. We'll go and select 3, then every third. Two, 3. 1, 2, 3. There's got to be an easier way to do this, I think. And no, that looks terrible. All right. Oh. I think I know how to do this. No. I think I know how to do this correctly. I think. I'm gonna try something here. Extrude faces along normals. There we go. And that gives me a nice little conduit shape there. And then we can do actually no, because I don't want those inset faces to be what's the word I'm looking for? I want those inset faces to share the fate that the rest of this tube is going to get. It's we're after very different things for those faces. Very, very different things. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So we're going to take these and we're going to edge crease to 0.5. And we're going to take you guys. And then, oh, missed one. We'll delete those faces because they're just gonna get messed up. They're not technically attached to the part of the mesh there. Which makes it kind of a pain in the neck. But it's fine because I already know how it's going to behave and I can account for that. I need to drink some water here. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a subdivision surface modifier. And as you can see, it already looks a lot better than without it. So if I get rid of it and bring it back, it looks great. I think 2 should be fine. Looks decent enough. Apply that right away. So yeah, there it is. We'll do excuse me. We'll do something for the arms, I think, now. Because these are going to be where the weapons are mounted. So I guess shoulder ports is the correct term to use here. Let's take a look at what we have at the repository here. Let's see. I think I'm going to use this again. Oop. Let's see. Snap selection to cursor. Where that goes, I don't know yet. I like this, but I won't use it yet. It appears I didn't make a deal-a-dad for the what's it called? I didn't make a thing for shoulder ports, which is fine. It just means that I've got to do it if I want it. Which I'm not sure I do at the moment. Set origin, center mass volume, snap selection to cursor. Okay. Oh, here, let me mirror it because I done started mirroring it. I really like that shape there, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I went a little overboard rotating it, but we got it. We pulled it off. And then that's going to go here. There we go. You know what? Let's make it a little bigger. Or not. Or not. I don't want to get greedy. But that is looking pretty snazzy. Let's see. Is there anything else in here that I might want to... Well, let's see how this looks in the mix. Let's see. We'll do this way. And delete. Okay. I think I can shrink. Oh, no. Shrink it, not expand it. And that'll look fine. Doesn't look too bad. I do need to connect these a little bit better, though. Because right now they do look more just stuck together rather than like... you know what? I'll get rid of that shape there. I'll keep all of this. Rotate that out a tad. Yes, yes, good. Good, Anakin. And let's go this way and up. And then a little bit more on the Z. Now, I know this is probably considered cheating, but I think it adds what is the word I'm looking for? I think it adds uniformity to these things, these war machines. Let's see. Now, I do know that I'm going to eventually have to bring this into like an animation setup for posing, because I don't want to make something that looks this good and then not have it be posable, you know? I want to make it look imposing, you know? So I'm gonna raise that up a bit. RX. Bring that back a tad. Nearly perfect. And then scale X, because I want it to be a little more, what's it called? I want it to be a little less, just a little less identical. I'm not sure if that makes any sense, but it's what I'm after. I don't need it to be like completely 100% one-to-one copy in all things. Oh no, okay. And that's what I was afraid of happening. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Alright. I think that hides my crimes. Oh, no, it does not. Alright. The biggest problem is placement and making it seem like it belongs where it is. And for that reason, I have some serious respect for my peers in when it comes to miniature modeling, because this stuff ain't exactly easy, but it ain't exactly hard either. Um, a horse. Hang on, I need to look something up here. I'm trying to make this horse-like, and I want to make sure that I'm making the front legs correctly. Oh, okay. So yeah, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. So yeah, so there'd be 1, 2, and 3, and this would be something like that. Hmm. I think that looks right. And that looks right. Just bring this back a little bit. Okay. And then bring this part specifically. Well, that can go. We don't need that part anymore. But this part can come out a little bit there. RZ. RY. There it goes. Okay. Cool beans. Oh, now it's just a matter of mirroring this, and then I can raise this platform up a little bit more. Raise it to about there. And then you guys, Shift D, mirror X, and then grab it and place it here. Okay, not bad looking at all. I'm gonna focus on the sockets now, because I was gonna do that earlier, and then I'm like, hey, this might be a good idea, do it. And so I did. Let's see. I need to figure out what I'm doing here. Let's set origin center of mass. Shift D, scale X, and then and then let's go ahead and bring it in a tad. let's see, scale, extrude inward, scale again. Let's see. Inset that face, inset it again, and merge in the center. Do the same here. And then we'll take these faces, I guess, and we'll make like a shoulder blade out of it, I guess. And then let's do nope, don't want to make that into a face. I do, however, want to shape that a little bit. And then let's take this one and kind of follow that cue a little bit. Put like a little wing-ding thing on the back there. And I don't want to obstruct this at all. So, oops. I know this is stuff that no one's ever going to see because it's inside the model, but it's going to drive me nuts if I don't correct it. And that's just because I'm trying to just use best practices, right? It's not always possible to like do the thing to make the thing the best thing it can be, and sometimes you have to take shortcuts. But I don't want to take shortcuts, is what I'm saying. It's easy. It's easy to do shortcuts. It's hard to stick to principle. I'm sure there's some biting commentary that can be made there. We're gonna go that. Actually, if I keep that, I go like that, I go like this, and then I go like that, I will have created a pretty snazzy shape. Zazzy, if you will. And if you don't get the reference, I apologize. Oops. Grab Y. And then grab Y. And then what's next? These guys? Of course they ran. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be? Let me... There's one show that like just popped into my head that I really can't wait to come back. And it's called Cleavatess. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it or not. Well, I mean, I know people have seen it, but I don't know if anyone here has seen it or not. Cleavatess is about like this soldier who's like one of like the strongest in the kingdom or whatever, gets sent to go do like to go slay a magical beast, I think is the term they use for it, but to be honest, I really don't remember. Really don't remember what the term they used was, but the kingdom sent them out to go. They sent out these soldiers to go kill this demon or magical beast or whatever the term they used was, and they all end up just getting murked, like hardcore murked. It was like not even a contest, and the beast goes on a rampage and like destroys the kingdom, and then starts and then takes the crown prince, and resurrects one of the knights he killed to like what's the word I'm looking for, to like raise the kid and to look after the kid. Very, very interesting show. Very, very violent and gory, but very fun to watch. So basically, this lady knight is now a like a zombie, I guess would be like the best descriptor. But I'm waiting for it to come back. I'm very, very patiently waiting for it to come back. Another show I'd been watching is Jobless Reincarnation. That show's been great. A friend of mine's been watching or not watching, but a friend of mine's been reading the light novel. How does that look? There's this weird surface deal going on here I don't really like. Let me go ahead and... Does that look better? Not much. Maybe if I do this. And this. Yeah, I guess that'll work. Especially when I start doing this. Mesh. UV sphere. Scale it up a bit. Ooh, that's scaled up a lot. Grab Y. And there. And now I begin the long process of placing each of these, I guess, rivet heads one by one. This is kind of like the most relaxing part of it. And while it is in essence the same as like hand placing uh, rivet like details on an actual like physical mini that you've been crafting for like weeks or days or whatever, um, while there is some level of that, this is the most like cathartic part for me. It's the most it's the most gratifying, I think. Gotta start thinking about lunch here soon. I'm not sure what I'm having today, but I'll figure it out. I've got some ground beef in the fridge that's thawing. I've got some pork medallions that are probably thawed. I could probably make those in the air fryer, toaster oven deal. Really, an air fryer is just a toaster oven. But yeah, yeah. Maybe I can make one of those. Maybe I can, or maybe I'll have like a chopped steak, like a Hamburg steak. That sounds good too. I think I've got some Worcestershire and some soy. I can make kind of a steak sauce. Let me do this. We'll do you. We're just gonna keep going round and round we go. And then inset those. Well, not really inset, but extrude them in. There's a difference between inset and extrude. Inset doesn't include an extrusion. It just when you're talking modeling, it doesn't necessarily include an extrusion operation. It just creates more faces in an area for you to work with. And while extrude does, the difference is that extrude is very, like, it's a very explicit operation. Keep missing those edges. Come on. Come on. Come on. Last couple of details. I was afraid that one was just gonna be like, nah, sorry, bro. You gotta pick the edge. Edge crease, 0.5. Done. And we'll bring this out just a hair. Just a hair. And then we'll do that there. That there. Oh, marmalade. Oh, marmalade. Who are you? Scruffy. Janner. Alright. And one last one. Boom. Done, done, and done. And yeah, there we go. I'm sure that doesn't make any sense, putting a rivet there, but I'm going to put one there because you can't stop me. Alright, now I want to put another one of these 2B thingy dealies in somewhere. I'm just not entirely sure where it should go just yet. I do think I'm gonna do this. And then you can go that away. You can go your own way. Go your own way. Don't ask me why I have some songs stuck in my head and others don't. Or others aren't. I don't have an answer for that. I think this guy might be a chain gun specialist. And then we'll just round that off. Ooh, that looks bad. Okay. That looks less bad. Alright. Did I hit it, didn't I? Alright, where'd you go, you little jerk? Right there. Alright. And then down. And then out again a little bit. Alright. Grab X. Grab X. Thank you. Oops. Grab X. Shift D. Ah, I hid them again. Stupid me. And up. Okay. I was looking a little heavier duty. A little bit heavier doodly yodely. Hoddly doodly, hoddly doodly. I was watching the Simpsons movie the other day, and that part is stuck in my head. Bart, like, I think it was, he paints a thing of like a pair of glasses on his face, and he's like, I'm gonna start being a Flanders kid now, and there's like getting into Homer's face, going howdly doodly, howdly doodly. um, yeah, it was a moment of all time. All right. Let's see. I want to do something for this other socket here. That is a lot of riveting there. Very heavy riveting. What do I do for this other socket? You know what? I'm going to start working on the next arm. We'll do mesh, cube, grab X, scale, scale it some more. Okay, and now we can apply rotation and scale. Cut off that corner there. Hang on. Cut off that corner too. And then we'll inset this face, extrude it in a little bit, and then scale that, I think. All right, and I'm not a fan of how this is looking. What if we mirror it up and down? Yeah, that looks a little more acceptable. A little less strange, I guess. All right. Let's see. Right there, I think. I wanted to look industrial and heavyweight and stuff, which is why I'm adding the bevels and not. I'm trying to not lean on the what's it called, on the subdivision surface modifier when I can get it, when I don't have to. So, I know I want to use this tabard thing that I made. I'm just not sure it'll look right on this particular mini when I'm done with it. But I'm going to bring it in, I'm going to let it sit there, and we'll figure out if it serves a purpose on this particular model or not. That said, I do want to more build toward the gut area, so what I'll do is that, and then sculpting, where is my hook? There it is, elastic grab. We can bring this, we can bring this all in like so, and then smooth. Come on, let's smooth out, shall we? Settle down, Beavis. Yeah, I am, in fact, talking to the model. In case you're wondering. I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't have any answers. Alright, not bad looking at all. I do want to address this bit here, though. Alright, this is going to come out of left field, but I just had a crazy thought. Not really crazy, but I really miss the 90s. I miss when you would just go places to hang out, right? You would like go to the mall to hang out. I mean, I guess people still like go to like McDonald's and hang out, but that really is not the same. I'm out of water, so I swapped to soda. But yeah, there's really a world of difference between going to the mall and hanging out and hanging out at like a McDonald's. Ooh. Okay. I thought I broke something for a second. I thought Blender was frozen because I'm like tapping S and trying to scale and nothing is happening. It turns out I just forgot to what's the word I'm looking for? Turns out I forgot to select the part, or I had the part selected at one point and then I had the part not selected. Don't be like me. So we're gonna put this drum here, and this drum is gonna be basically a magazine. And then merge its center, and then U, and then in, and then U, and then there. Oops. Ooh. Okay, that's not what I wanted at all. But, I'll live with it. Actually, I don't have to live with it. And then we'll do, I don't know, 2 loop cuts. That sound good? Yeah, that sounds good. Set that there. And now we can move on to the fun bit. Actually, not quite yet. I need to grab Y. Alright. Oh, right, yeah, I was doing this. Right. Man, dude. I don't mind being scatterbrained, but the pay sucks. And again, I'm not looking to make everything perfect and exact. Just kind of exploring shapes. Still exploring shapes. Like 90% of modeling. Unless you know in your head what you want the end result to look like. And I really don't. For a lot of what I model, I don't really have an end goal or like an end design in mind. I'm just looking to build something and put together whatever shapes I think look good, look nice. I think I've said I'm just repeating myself. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to repeat myself. Bevel. I don't mean to repeat myself. I'm sorry. I just did it again. Subdivision surface. Let's talk about the model. So I imagine that the individual responsible for constructing this monstrosity is very, like, into religious symbology. Very, very into it. These are all everything in this set of miniatures that I'm working on. Everything. They're made by a death cult, and they they use like dead things to make golems, and they use tech to animate the dead things, and then they combine missing pieces with like whatever they can scavenge, whatever they can salvage, and these mechs, they're all the same principle, just scaled and with a cockpit. And because of that, they're what's the word I'm looking for? Because of that, the everything is very like stitched together. It has very, very like distinct a very distinct look to it. That's I guess look. I guess look is the word I want to use. I'm not entirely sure though. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I messed up somewhere. So yeah, these guys. So these mechs are basically just pieced together, scavenged corpses and construction equipment and other large machinery. And they're all stitched together using nanotechnology, nanomachines that have been in the air for like the last like 4 or 5 decades. Excuse me. I forget why I started talking about these. Oh right, yeah. So there's some sort of religious iconography associated with some of these. This one in particular, this one is made because the the person who constructed it was very heavily inspired by Revelation in the book, in the Bible, and so this one is this particular machine is called the Black Measure, and it represents the rider of famine. And I thought that might be cool to try and capture in this kind of like twisted, grotesque mini form, because these people, they're above all, they're religious to a degree. Um, they worship, like, they literally worship like death itself. Which is why they create these golems and these machines, and it's why they use the nano machines in the environment to do so. Um, uh, these need to come in a bit more. That's not to say that, like, I'm anti-theist or anything. I'm not. If anything, I'm probably quite agnostic. I don't like to call myself an atheist. There's a negative connotation to me with it, at least. Whereas atheists, they don't necessarily believe, but a true atheist doesn't believe because they don't have the evidence to support a deity or a pantheon of deities or whatever the case may be, right? They don't have that. They don't have that theology. Um, they don't believe anything supports the theology. That's what I wanted to say. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it, but it does become a problem when you adamantly deny religion or religious context because of, oh, just because it's religion, just because you're stupid if you think there's uh, a giant space daddy or whatever. Um, and that's not me. And I don't want to get onto a religious bent or anything. I'm just explaining that that's where these mechs come from. That's where the ideology of these of these uh, of these cultists come from. Oh. And then bring it down to here. Now that's a little too... Yeah, that's a little too much there. I will... Hang on. I'll just get rid of those two and keep those in the middle. I do believe faith in something is essential. And me personally, while I view myself as sort of agnostic, I can't help but wonder if there is something greater to the universe, that there is a mastermind, a masterminded rather, order to things. Things just seem too perfect. As a rules writer, things seem too perfect for them to be just explained away, with the wave of a hand, one thing or another. I would like to say that I trust the science, quote, trademark, TM, copyright, whatever, but I don't. And that's because science is inherently not trustworthy, right? Science is a study. It's not the end all be all. It is not natural law. It is not something that states this is it. Science explains and studies the relationship and the causal factors of natural processors, or processes rather, not processors. It doesn't seek to confirm or deny the existence of a processor in those things. It only seeks to understand what the processes taking place are doing. And recently, here's an example: a bunch of a bunch of animal behavioral scientists, people who are actively studying the natural world, looked at a pack of wolves that apparently they thought that ravens were I think it's ravens. I'm not entirely certain. But a pack of wolves in Yellowstone, they were tracking alongside birds that were like following them, because they figure, well, these birds are just what's the word I'm looking for? They're scavengers, right? So these scavenger birds, okay, well, the birds are sticking close to the wolves because that's where the meals come from. They recently discovered, they thought they knew everything, but it came out that the birds sometimes went to locations where they knew the wolves would gather to hunt prey, and they would just sit and wait. That, to me, is just empirical evidence that we can't trust science, that we shouldn't just blindly trust science, that there's more to the universe than what our preconceptions are. That said, I lack the evidence that it is some creator, but I'm open to that evidence, if that makes any sense. Like I said, I'm not theistic in any way, and I really want there to be something greater in the universe, but I'm just not sure there is. Everything seems that way. Everything would point that way because, like I said, things are just way too perfect. Cursor just selected, and yeah, at really any rate, oops, where'd it go? Circle. You. At any rate, these cultists are very much incentivized by their religion. And again, there's no larger conspiracy behind it. There's no deeper meaning than that. They're just zealots. And that's what makes them, at least to me, compelling. They have a dogma, they have a doctrine. They stand by that doctrine. Scale to RX 90. So yeah, there's nothing greater or smaller than that at play here. They're just cultists They do cult things. There's no real reason that I chose for them to be cultists other than they're cultists. I figured that in an era just completely obliterated by just completely obliterated by one corporation's like lust for greed, or not lust for greed, but lust for, control over everything. um that they mother hmm. Let's go ahead and apply that so I'm not losing my mind on it. Basically, the entire world ended up being fireballed because of one company, because of one corporation, um, and the decisions the people that ran that corporation made. Um, it's speculative fiction, sure, but it's my fiction and it's my story, and I'll tell it the way I want to tell it. And there's no greater thing to it either, other than this is what happened. You know, it had nothing to do with, oh, corporation bad. It didn't. Um, it just came down to a story that I thought was cool. Nothing more, nothing less. And I'm trying to get ahead of the pack here when I say this, because I suspect someone will go, "Oh, dude, this is so like um communism coded." I'm like, nah, bro. it really isn't. Um oh, right, I forgot. Hang on. I forgot that the what am I? Oh, here, let me just yeah. Yeah. There we go. Um I forgot what I was talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I was talking about something and now I forgot. Oh, yeah. There's nothing in any of my worlds or any of my games that is one political bent or another. It's just people, places, and things. And there's no greater reason for any of them to exist other than I had an idea. I wrote the idea down, and now I can't stop writing it down. And you and you and you and, whoop, and you. Up. Let's see. Scale. Um, is it shift scale? No. Scale shift. No, that just makes it... I gotta do this the hard way. Alright, scale 1.1, maybe 1.3. No. I think 2 should do it. Yeah, the 2 will do it. Oh. Alright. I'm not a very good public speaker, so I apologize. My main goal is to try and entertain you guys, and I'm not really confident that I'm doing that. But you guys are here, so I must be doing something right. Oh, no. We do not want to extrude just that. We'll do this. Oops. We will do this. And that. All right. Now this. There. Okay. Not bad looking at all. Let me do this and there, and then over. That looks right. I think it looks right. Yeah, not bad. I'm wondering if this little corner up here, like this corner right here, needs any detail. I kind of feel like it does, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it doesn't. But holy schmoly. How many spheres did I place? Just under 100 of these little spheres. And that's not counting the studs that are already on the leg things. Actually, here, let me do that. Just lean it forward a little bit. Make it a little more, I don't know, unsettling, I guess. So I think we made some good progress today. I really do. I am aiming for more streams. I haven't been able to work out a solid timetable yet. I went a little earlier than I would have normally have gone today to try and get a little bit more out of it, out of what I would normally do, or what I have been doing rather. So if you guys want to see longer streams, let me know. Let me know what days are like best for me to stream on, for you guys to sit with me and hang out while I do stuff like this, when I do stuff like this, because I do enjoy doing it. I just run out of things to talk about. Um, so until next time, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me. I, again, don't know how the raid system works on this. So I hope to see you guys again very soon. My next for sure stream day will be next Monday at around 11 a.m. Central Time, which would be noon Eastern Time. If you live on the East Coast or whatever, and then I think minus 2 hours from that. Otherwise, I will see you all again very, very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, reach out to someone who needs to be reached out to or that you haven't talked to in a while. And I will see you all again Monday. Have a great day, guys.